Hey everyone, so this is a reading for your sun, moon, or rising. If you want to skip ahead to any particular area that has your interest, that is like top of mind, then I would check out the timestamps down below. Also, the live hangouts for cards and cocktails, and planning to do more of those. They've been going very well. I haven't chosen any dates for April yet, but the best way to stay on top of that and to find out when those are, to come hang out and get free tarot card pulls. It's just a lot of fun. I'm enjoying it. It's a way for me to connect with people too. It's just fun. You can go check that out in my Instagram. So that's honestly the best way, is to follow me on Instagram to stay up on like when those get announced. So I try to do at least a couple different times to catch different time zones. The other thing is, and I'm going to keep this really short and succinct this month. Last month that was nuts. So let's keep this short and succinct. This is a collective reading, so keep that in mind. If this particular message doesn't resonate with you this month, it just wasn't your message this month. I would check out, if you're checking out your sun sign, rising, then check out your moon sign and see which one of those might resonate with you a little bit better this month. If you do want something that's more specific to what's going on in your life, I highly recommend booking a reading one-to-one. So all the links for that are down below. You can book a personal reading. You can get 20% off of your reading. You can get 50% off with a referral link. So all of that information is down below. I don't want to spend too much time talking about it. I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory. The last thing that I want to say is there are new subscriptions that are available on Patreon. So if you're someone who really likes ongoing personal guidance with respect to what you're dealing with in this particular month or any month, I have weekly one-to-one, either live or recorded, monthly subscriptions. So you can pay monthly to get weekly readings with me that are 30 minutes long, or you can pay for monthly 90-minute readings with me, and those are also either live one-to-one or recorded for you. So those options are now available on Patreon. Still working on the website thing in the background. It has been a bananas month, you guys. So I'm going as fast as I can, but things are changing pretty rapidly. Anyhow, I think that's about all. Enjoy your readings, and I hope to talk to you soon. Bye. Hello Libra, and welcome to your April 2022 reading. So this is a reading for Libra sun, moon, or rising sign. So remember that this is a collective reading, therefore it may resonate some months, it may not. If you want a specific reading, link for that is down below, as well as a bunch of other things that I offer, but I'm not going to spend time getting into that. Let's keep this short and sweet and get into it. All right, Libra, let's first start with what is coming up in general. What's the overall feel and theme for you for the month of April 2022. Oops, sorry. There we go. Not a bad card to start with. Let's also take a look at what is the challenge. And what spiritual advice is coming forward to guide you. All right. So I'm also going to pull for business, finances, if you're an entrepreneur or you have a career. So that's some good, like, you've got a couple of good cards coming out here, Libra. It's looking good. So again, you don't need to be an entrepreneur. This could be for your workspace or just regarding your finances and the challenge that's coming up. And then what spiritual advice we have coming up for you. Okay, I'm actually going to arrange these here. All right, Libra. So taking a look here, I'm going to start with, let's pull these in frame actually, so that we can just take a look at these and focus on what is going on overall, and then we'll get into that and then move on to love reading and the other advice. Okay, so with the King of Wands, what we're seeing here is, well, there's some beautiful things about the King of Wands. King of Wands can be very self-assured, very much in their confidence and holding themselves. The other thing about the King of Wands that I'm feeling called to bring up is that the King of Wands can be a bit of a gambler, makes decisions based on flashes of intuition. And sometimes that can pan out really well, and sometimes that doesn't really pan out very well. And so the thing to be aware of is if you are in this space, if you're someone who is currently maybe utilizing your intuition, maybe weigh them out a little bit more before you kind of rush in. And part of the reason I'm bringing that up is because right next to that, we're seeing the King or the Knight of Wands, right? So the Knight of Wands is, especially in a challenge position like this, is more speaking to the shadow aspects of the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands can have some like really cool things, but in its shadow side, it's very, who I would say like reckless in their risk taking, you know, the knight that will rush first in and then think later. So act now, think later kind of a thing. This is also called, this is also sometimes referred to as the fuckboy card when it's in a challenge position. So basically like love them and leave them, like sex is a competitive sport, right? You know, so just kind of being very reckless with energy in general, with that fire energy, with creation energy, with intuition as well, because we're looking at what we're seeing here with the King of Wands. So I would say if you are maybe taking some chances, gambling on some risks, maybe take some time to be a little bit more measured in the risks that you're taking. Part of the advice that you're getting here is in the Four of Cups. Now, like the Four of Cups, when it's in a positive light, when it's in a spiritual advice light, what we're looking at is new opportunities being brought to you through omens and messages. So what I'm getting here is that it would be beneficial to wait a little bit and see, like as the month opens up and progresses, what kinds of opportunities are opening up for you. We are at the beginning of the astrological year, more or less, right? So we had the spring equinox. We're in Aries season. We just had the new moon in Aries to kind of kick this month off. And so this is a lot of that riding into the energy and moving things forward and having that forward momentum. So this is not to say don't put your energy into building the life that you desire, or opening up yourself to like the risks that you feel like intuitively that you're drawn to create your best life. It's more so, you know, weighing them out maybe a little bit more, take a little bit more of a calculated risk, pay attention to what you're actually seeing come up in terms of like new opportunities. Assess it, take calculated risks, look for the signs and the omens, listen to, this is also a water cup, right? So we're talking about intuition in two different ways, the fiery side and then this kind of watery side. So pause, you know, consider, tune in to your intuition. All right, so let's then take a look at, because I feel like that was pretty clear. Let's take a look at what's coming up with career, business, finances, your working situation. I'm actually going to switch these up so that we have that there. Okay. All right. So starting off, we're gonna get into this, but I see a theme that's arising here for you Libras this month, about being reckless and not thinking before you act, and being kind of, this can be a little bit about being too optimistic. I know usually I start over here. I'm gonna come back around to that because I see a connection here. However, I wanted to point out, just because we were just speaking about this, you know, when the Fool is in a challenge position, it's kind of like being reckless, not checking things out before you make moves, kind of like actually being foolish, and sometimes maybe being blinded by a certain perspective. That could be optimism. Maybe you're too optimistic about some of the opportunities that are arising within the realms of like finances, business, career, all of this, right? And so there is a caution here. And we're seeing that show up with the challenge card that was just showing up with the overall. So I'm seeing that a lot of you are needing to like slow your roll, like still make moves forward, but think before you act. Think, like, take some time to be with the decisions that you're trying to make here, right? So just want to caution you with that. Now, coming back around to like that being said, I see a connection here. So we're going to kind of like go and bounce around as opposed to what I normally do for you guys. So the star card comes after the tower in the tarot, in the sequence, right? The tower happens, and then there is this rebirth and renewal that happens, right? So what I'm seeing here is like with the like the overall theme with your business, finances, and career is that there is like a cleansing, like a renewal that is happening, possibly even recognition for what you're doing inside of the work that you do. So that's something to be aware of, right? And then we also have the Queen of Swords with the Tower card, right? So it's looking like the structure, the way that your career or your business or like work situation or whatever it has been, the structure of that is no longer working. The Tower card usually comes in when there needs to be like a leveling of what's been going on, because it's like this foundation's too shaky, the structure isn't going to work, this framework isn't going to work. We need to actually we need to change this, and we need to like start from scratch basically, or near scratch, like go back to the drawing board is what's occurring with this, right? So you want to make sure to not try to hold really too tightly to certain structures as they've been, because for whatever reason, it hasn't really been working very well for you. There's probably some way that this resonates for you. If this reading overall is resonating for you, then I'm going to say that you're probably like, this makes sense to you. Inside of that, there are certain kinds of things that need to be communicated clearly on your part, right? Certain cords that need to be cut in the world of your like business or with coworkers or whatever. And not to say that like we're being reckless about this, right? Thinking before you speak. The thing about the Queen of Wands, sometimes she can be like called the Ice Queen, you know, or Queen Bitch, because she speaks directly. She's very truthful about the way that she goes about it. But the one thing that you would notice about a queen is she can't just go shooting off at the mouth, right? This isn't in the challenge position. This is actually in a spiritual advice position. This is like what the guides are actually bringing forth as advice for you. So with that said, if this is being brought forth as advice, then we want to look at the brighter or more the strengths of the Queen of Swords. Right? Notice that the sword is erect. It is straightforward. It's pointing up. It's not haphazardly being thrown off to the side or anything like that, which means it's like she's holding upright and with integrity, speaking her truth, speaking the things that are of integrity, the things that need to be said. But she wouldn't be able to co-rule a kingdom if she were just reckless with her words, which means that she has to think about how she is going to communicate these things, to do it maybe even strategically, tactfully, diplomatically, right? So these are things to consider. It's like they're in the tower experience of what is going on in this world for you, in this realm. You want to make sure that it's like, notice who it is that you need to definitely like cut, like the energy needs to be cut. You need to just cut those cords. That doesn't mean to say that like you just stop talking to somebody, although sometimes it can. It means like create those boundaries, you know, like if they need to be pushed back out of your field to a certain degree or off to the side, then make those moves. But there is also certain things that like it seems like need to be communicated here, and so you want to be aware of how you're communicating with that. That said, what we also see that's showing up is the Star card, and the Star card is about this, like I said, cleansing and renewal. It comes after the Tower moment, right? This doesn't mean that you're going to get fired or that your business is going to crumble if you have a business or anything like that. This is more just like the structures within which, and you know, for some of you it could. I mean, yes, Tower moments can sometimes be like that. They can feel decimating, like you've lost something. There's a groundlessness to it, that kind of experience. And it's anxiety producing, and it can be really difficult. However, if you look ahead at like what are the structures that are no longer working, what hasn't been benefiting my abundance, my financial abundance, how can I shift and change this to move into a space that is like more fresh and new, like fresh and new ideas, fresh and new experience. Go back to the drawing board, see what you can, like zoom out and see what the big picture is. Okay, so I know that's maybe a little bit intense for some people out there, but we want to be clear. We want to be clear about this, right? We want to be like clear before you move forward and not reckless, right? So let's take a look at what's coming up for my Libras with love, in the realms of love. What's coming up for my Libras? All right. Okay, and then we'll take a look at challenge and also spiritual advice that you're getting. Okay. All right, Libra. And then we're also going to, as we have been, it seems like this is the format that we're sticking with for now, at least, taking a look at the archetypes of the masculine and feminine, the polarity of energy inside of us. Again, this is not about gender. This is not about identity. This is not even necessarily about beliefs, right? So you could see these as the different archetypes, the different types of energies that you can embody, that you can emulate throughout the month to assist and help you through the challenges that are coming up in your month, right? So, or if it is in your belief structure for you to believe in deities, then these are your homies. These are the deities that have your back. They're like, we're showing up, we got your back, we'll help you through this particular month. It's no worries, right? We got you. So we're gonna also give voice to your guides in another way. Not just the spiritual advice could be, you know, it's like, yes, it's helpful, but like overall, what's a message that your guides have? Usually it's a deeper invitation into deeper like personal work. So we're going to look at that. And then also the shadow aspect. So what another, like said another way, this could be your blind spots, right? So looking at blind spots. And then we're also going to take one rune. All right. All right, Libra, this is going to be, I'm going to continue this reading in the Patreon area. So the extended readings are available on Patreon. You can get the link for that down below. So again, if you want a personal reading and you want to specifically see what's going on for you, then the link for that is also down below. There are timestamps down below as well. If you wanted to skip around, I probably should have said that at the beginning. So yeah, and feel free to leave your feedback. I'm always open to hear what you guys have to say. So hopefully this was helpful, Libra, and I will talk to you in the extended or next month. Thanks. Bye.